Hello, and welcome to What I Liked About This Movie, a brand new series on the franchise Unpacked YouTube channel. Zach asked me to do this, and I said yes of my own free will. He's not off-screen with a taser. My name is Wes, and I'm going to be the host of this show. I was lucky enough to be asked by Zach and Dave to make some content for their channel as a sort of team up. I have another channel called Apartment 26 Media, shameless self-plug, just doing some movie reviews right now with some friends. Go check that out if you want something. But anyway, back to the episode. What I liked about this movie is going to be a series where I take a look at all sorts of movies, mostly ones with terrible reviews that are pretty universally hated, and trying to find things to like about them, because everything that's bad about movies like that have already been said. So let's try to find some things to appreciate, because even the worst movies have something to appreciate. I hope. Now, it is October right now, which I like to refer to as Halloween month. I personally use October as an excuse to watch almost exclusively horror movies. So I've seen the scary ones, the funny ones, the spooky ones, the bad ones, the silly ones, the gory ones, the terrible ones, the cheesy ones, and of course, the terrifying nightmare fuel. Now, seeing all of these movies and doing this for years and years of using October as an excuse to watch horror movies, whether they're good or bad or whatever, I've seen a lot of terrible horror movies. And I mean a lot. So I have a pretty big stomach for bad movies in general, but especially bad horror movies. Pretty big tolerance for that kind of stuff. So you can believe me when I say that today we're going to be looking at one of the most poorly executed horror movies I have ever seen. Truth or Dare.
Carter!
Truth.
What are your intentions with our sweet Olivia?
I needed to find someone with friends that I could trick into coming here. I could tell Olivia was an easy target. I brought you all up here because I'm okay with strangers dying if it means I get to live.
What the hell?
The game's real. Okay, wherever you go, whatever you do, it'll find you. You okay?
Yeah.
Now, this movie has been talked about by a lot of people already. It came out last year, and it's not great. If you want some in-depth what's bad about the movie, you could check out some of those other people. Just search it in YouTube. You'll find some people who are pointing out some pretty egregious things about this movie. However, since I'm not doing that, I'm just gonna jump right in. Here's a quick premise, and then we're gonna get to the stuff that I liked about it. Truth or Dare, quick premise. You got a bunch of college kids who go to Mexico for spring break. They start partying. One of the girls meets this other guy in Mexico who goes to another college. Then he drags her and her friends to this abandoned, rundown church in Mexico where they play a game of Truth or Dare. The game was haunted by some sort of demon, and then they come back to America and they find out that if you don't tell the truth, you die. If you don't do the dare, you die. And they have to figure out a way to try and uncurse this cursed game. That's the basic premise. It's the basic premise. To be honest, there was only 3 things that I found that I actually liked. I'll put that in quotation marks. Liked about this movie, Truth or Dare. The first one, which I'll talk about right now, is the premise. Now, I know that it's kind of a cheesy premise to have a cursed version of like a middle school game, but in the story, this is spoilers, I guess, but are you really gonna watch it if you haven't already? The story, they have a bunch of nuns who played Truth or Dare, and one of them summoned like a demon or something, and the demon ends up cursing the game. Now, I kind of like the premise of having a demon curse something like a children's game. The way they execute how this game is cursed is the bad part of that. I really like the simple idea, but I think that's as far as it goes, because you come up with that idea and you're like, maybe this would make a good sketch. If it was like a sketch, like a short, maybe like a 15 to 20 minute short film, that was produced on an indie level, it could be at least interesting. But they added all these aspects with the characters and the story, and then the fact that you don't even find out that that's the cursed game, and then they have to do some sort of like like a blood sacrifice to even do it, but then it can't work and they never do it. It's a whole thing. So number one is the premise technically I like about this movie. Number two, now this is a little bit of a smaller one. It's the integration of social media platforms in the movie. Now what I mean by that is there's shots where, well, one of the opening characters establishing shots, she's recording a video for her YouTube channel, and they're actually using YouTube. Now they've been doing that more and more over the years, because back in like the 90s and the 2000s, or the 2000s, I guess, when they had like Google and it was just like search.com and things like that, or they had social media platforms that were just parodies of actual social media platforms. But in this movie, they have the actual social media platforms and they use them. So you got Facebook, you got YouTube, you got Instagram. And when I say they use them, I mean in real life situation, if something like this were to happen, people would be searching for people on Facebook. They'd be trying to contact other people using the internet in a way. So the fact that they actually use the platforms and they're the real platforms, and they mention even Google at one point, for some reason, I was watching this and I appreciated that fact. Now, it's not always well done in terms of execution, but I honestly did. I liked the fact that they used the real things and that's kind of a standard now, but it was the way they integrated them in was, I don't know, at least redeeming in some way, basically. Now, the third thing I liked about this movie was some of the cinematography, and I want to stress some of the cinematography. Not all of it, not even most of it, but there was a bit of it where I was watching and I went, oh, that was a cool shot. That was really neat. And this is just my personal taste, but the opening scene of this movie has a shot that I liked in terms of like, it was like this follow shot when this girl goes into the gas station before she lights somebody on fire, which maybe I'll throw a clip up of that.
Can I get a pack of Morley's?
One of the other shots that I really liked was one of the dares that this girl had to do was she had to finish this bottle of vodka while she was walking on the edge of a roof. Now, a lot of the shots around that I kind of liked when they were like going up and onto the roof. Here's some clips if I can. I'll throw the clips in if I can get them. Transition up onto the roof, following her when she's on the roof, like the people on the ground. I kind of liked a lot of that sequencing. It showed me that somebody on the production team was trying. That's what it showed me, and I appreciated that, which is why I put it in the list of things I liked about this movie. So there you have it. There are the only 3 things I could find to like about the movie Truth or Dare. I do recommend that you watch this movie, though, if you like watching bad movies. If you don't like watching bad movies, but you like watching bad movies with your friends, do that. I had to belch. Do that, then watch it with some friends, and then report back on the comments on this video. Come back to this video after you've watched the movie and see if you agree with me or not. You probably won't. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, like, share, subscribe. If you didn't make it this far, I hope you did that before you made it to the point where I said to do that. Thank you to the Franchise Unpacked team for asking me to do this series on the channel. I'm now going to take my pumpkin cider and I'm going to watch a spooky movie that I don't have to really stretch to find something to like about. Happy Halloween, everybody. Stay spooky and stay spooked. This has been fun. actually pretty good. Tastes a little bit like squash. Boo. You go out of your way to throw in all the good shots when the director tries to. So stay tuned if you like this series. If you want to give it a shout, what does that even mean? Give it a shout? Give it a shout.